So today's video is for the person who maybe already has an AC15 or is investigating buying their first tube amp and wants to know, I guess, a few things like, is it worth buying the Fender Deluxe Reverb, which is more than double the cost new, over the AC15? Also considering, like, if you already have an AC15, whether it's worth selling it and trading up, or even just adding a Deluxe Reverb to your collection and having both amps. So I guess a few questions to sort of ask is the AC15 as good as the Deluxe Reverb as a standalone amp? Do the two amps really do, substantially different things, I guess, to justify having both amps? Of course, if you're, planning on having sort of a wet, dry sort of setup, then yeah, it probably is worth it. Just knowing that both amps, are relatively good is probably enough to justify having both. Yeah, so I'm going to do a comparison of the two amps. I'm going to play relatively similar little licks on both the SG and the Strat through both amps, so you can hear what they sound like. I have pretty much everything at 12 o'clock on the two amps. So with the AC15, I'm on the normal channel. I have the treble cut at 12 o'clock. I have the master volume at 12 o'clock, and then I've adjusted the normal channel volume so that I'm not blowing out the interface. And then on the Deluxe Reverb, I've got everything at 12 o'clock, except for I've obviously not got the vibrato on. I've also not got the reverb on either of the amps. And the reason that I'm doing that is because my AC15, the reverb tank is not working, or it works intermittently. And when it's not working and I have the reverb up at all, it creates a bit of a squeal through the speaker. So I've taken that out of both amps. I'm using the Strymon Bluesky, again with pretty much everything at 12 o'clock except for the pre-delay, as my reverb for both channels. For overdrive, I'm going to use the Nobers ORD-Mini 2 for both guitars and both amps, just to show you as well how the amps receive pedals. I'm using the same mic on both, which is basically an SM57. And yeah, let's get straight into it. I'll start with the SG. So hopefully that gave you a little bit of an idea of the difference between the two amps. Like I said at the start, I set them at a similar volume so that they wouldn't basically start overdriving the interface. But what I found when I started playing was that the AC15, although they were set at a similar volume not to overdrive the preamp in the interface, the AC15 felt louder in the room. And I'm also seeing that on the recording in Ableton itself. So yeah, something interesting going on there. Obviously, both of the amps could be adjusted to taste. I think obviously with the AC15, you'd probably add a bit more of the tone cut in just to make it a little bit more mellow. But I think the AC15 held up really well, and I hope that came through with the recording. So hopefully you can form your own opinions, and yeah, hopefully this will help you make some sort of decision that you're looking to make.